What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the Mr. Homeboy Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the fear of failure. I know a lot of people challenge from this. I actually challenge from this myself. And the only way to work at it is to spot on the problem and address it head on. So, with these messages that I'm giving to you, hopefully you guys can take these gems, acknowledge your problems, and attack it head on. So, the fear of failure. I actually have the notes written down, so me looking down is actually looking at my notes that I hit. So, uh, definition: fear is an unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, real or imagined. And then it talks about some more stuff, which is psychologists say fear of failure result in feeling shame or embarrassed. Then it goes on to say 1 in 3 Americans are found to be scared of failure. And it's like that's literally normal life. The scare of failure. Especially going from having to make choices at a young age when there's kids in other situations that pretty much have their life planned out for them. And of course it's like you want to have your children make their own decisions and stuff. And maybe saying that since we made our own decision, we learned a lot faster. We bumped our heads and maybe we learned a lot faster. But this is what we have to change as a generation. The people who actually been through that and had to make a decision at a young age and didn't have really that much guidance. Especially with those kids coming out of high school. I feel like with them, they learn to fail so early. And before they even failed, no one ever encouraged them to find another way, challenge them to find another way, is pretty much to find the most safest and secure thing to do. And sometimes those safe and secure things are not the answer. And sometimes those things can hold you back. But most people don't take that chance because they're scared of failing. They know that when push comes to shove, they have to depend on themselves. They don't have nobody to back them up and yada yada yada. And that's where the fear of failing kicks in. So it's not gonna be an easy thing, but we gotta break this cycle and start teaching our kids and make them comfortable of making these big decisions. So one thing they have to deal with the topic is a lack of self belief. So with the lack of self belief, you have a situation where an individual don't believe in themselves, and they don't believe in themselves so bad that whenever they go to make a decision, they worry about what others think or what others going to feel or how they're going to take it, or they care about somebody else's opinion. And then that person caring about somebody else's opinion eventually leads to them not doing it, them doing a horrible job, or wherever the case may be. Look at the prime example. Let's say the NBA. These people that go into the NBA were high school superstars, college superstars. They went to the NBA, and now it's like they have to play a role and they have to do this. And their confidence level go down because maybe they have a coach that doesn't make them excel and stuff like that. So now they're playing a back seat to somebody who does. And it's like you have the talent, but you just got in your head to be like, you know what, this is just gonna be my role. I'm gonna be stuck with that, yada yada yada. So it's like that's what you get stuck in. And I feel like sports is probably the main thing that every every person on this earth could kind of relate to. So that's why I use the sport analogy. But it's something like that. That's where a self that's where a lack of self belief will kick in. You see the most confident players be the superstars. Look at LeBron, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant. All those players that are superstars have a very high self confidence, very high, and that self confidence is actually the thing that make them go above the rest of the people. So believe in yourself, and the sky's the limit of what you can do. When it comes to financial issues, you can always have a lack of self belief when it comes to financial issues because we was always because there were people out there that actually was told, I don't have the money, I don't know where it's coming from, and it's like it never, instead of saying can't, won't, and all this stuff, they should try to challenge themselves to, how can I do it, what can I do to get it, stuff like that, to actually challenge their brain to actually make it work and make them figure out an idea, make something out of nothing. Because no matter what your situation is always a way for something. So is you have to make that mental challenge to figure it out when there's nothing. And books help a lot. So if you guys want to get to a point where that's pretty much religious for you and it's like, hey, that's my medity, that's what I do, read books. It will help you out. Thing. Still speaking of lack of self belief, have to deal with comparing yourself to others. You see this a lot on social medias where a person will want the car that somebody want, the shirt that they want, the shoes, the jewelry, the money, the body, whatever the case may be, and they don't even they're not even comfortable in their own skin. And it's like, how can you want somebody to, like, especially when it comes to like relationship, how you expect to feel love or be loved when you don't even love yourself? And there are people out there, there are genuine people that actually love you for who you are, but then you're gonna drive them away because you feel like it's something wrong. Like, oh, it gotta be something up, it gotta be something. Sometimes that person just actually really loves you, but you're in your head so much that you don't believe it. So you know, majority of it is just a mental game, and once you guys take that challenge on head on, you'll be one step closer to getting that fix. The second one, which will be a broken mindset or broken family cycle. Like I was talking about with broken mindset, with the cants and the wants and stuff like that. Your main objective, if this is one of yours, to get those out of your vocabulary. Broken cycles. Let's say with smoking. Let's say your whole family smoking. You want to get to a point where you don't even like it no more. You don't even like the whole smell of it. You don't like it because it just remind you of your parents, of what you don't want to be like. That's perfectly fine. And I want to tell you guys that no matter your situation, where the main thing you guys have to realize is you're not your father, you're not your mother, you're not your brother, you're not your sister, you're not your uncle, auntie, whatever the case may be. You're not them. You are your person. The only person that could change your situation is you. So the best way to actually break cycles and change up your mentality is to actually do the stuff, be around stuff, hear stuff, listen to things that's gonna better you and make you to the person that you want to be around. You are who you hang around. So maybe it's sometimes you just gonna maybe have to change up your friends. And maybe you don't have to like totally cut them off, but you got to move a different direction. And if those friends actually love you and care about you, they'll want to. They'll your motivation will actually motivate them to change their situation. Believe it or not, there's a thing called leading by example. Most people they tired of people of all that do all talk. Sometimes you got to lead with action. So let that be you. And the last thing I want to touch is about laziness. So when it comes to laziness, you people don't know how to manage their time. They don't know how to weigh out the pros and cons of what actually benefit them and what doesn't. What's a need and what's a want. What's like let's say watching a favorite TV show. Let's say you want to get your degree in something, but you love this show and this is what you could do this. You could wake up early in the morning to go watch this show. You could sit up late at night to go watch this show. But the thing that you actually need is to take this degree or sign up for classes, whatever the case may be. And it's like you procrastinate. And the thing is, you have to balance out what actually benefits you. So when it comes to laziness, you need to weigh out your pros and cons and have a healthy balance. Because there's no way for you to, I'm gonna keep it a buck. There's no way for you to just go ahead and uh, work all the time, go to school all the time, blah blah blah. Sometimes you need that time to relax, and sometimes you may need a day, a day or so to decompress. But the thing you have to have a healthy balance. It's like when it comes to working out, eating, um, your mentals, whatever the case may be. You need a healthy balance. Sometimes being lazy or doing what you love or your hobby or whatever, sometimes that's healthy for you. So you can decompress of what you're going through. And so it's like you have something to look forward to while you are getting towards your goal. Another thing that I have to deal with laziness is when people stay stuck because they don't know where they want what's the next step. So what I ask you is to come up with what you want. When you figure out what you want, figure out a why. What you want, the why you want it. And the reason why I say those two is because you have something and you come up. Most people get stuck because they don't know where they're going to start or how to start, how to get going, and all that stuff. So, main thing you want to do is have a what you want to do, a plan to get towards it, like short term and long term goals. If it's say get a certificate, let's say long term goals is the short term goals deal with sign up for classes and yada yada yada. And once you do that, then there's a class here and there. Then you take a class yada 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 to get the certificate, and you have that plan. Um, you have a plan. Um, how you're gonna execute the plan, and then you're gonna have a why. The reason why you're gonna have that why is for days that you want to feel lazy and you don't want to feel nothing. You want to sit up to 2 o'clock in the morning watching your favorite TV show. That why will be like, you know what, I should go to sleep because I got to get up early. I have a long day ahead of me. So you have that why, and you just it will definitely help you. So by saying that, hopefully these tips and stuff that I give you when it comes to a failure of failing, I hope that we can all come together, get this knowledge, and just fight it head on. So, it's your homie, Mr. Homeboy.